Hello, YouTube. My name is Alston with the SecurityCameraGuide.com, and today I wanted to answer the question, can my security camera be hacked? Now, I have this article as well as many other articles over at the SecurityCameraGuide.com, but I wanted to take a few minutes to answer this question. Can my security camera be hacked? Now, the easy, obvious answer is yes. Anything that connects to the internet can be hacked. Anything that requires a username and password can be hacked. So just know that that is one of the risks that you take when using a security camera. Now, there are obvious ways to reduce the opportunity or chances that your security cameras are hacked. And that is explained in great detail in this article or this blog post. But in general, yes, if it requires a password, it can be hacked. If it connects to the internet, it can be hacked. But over at the SecurityCameraGuide.com, I do go into a little bit of detail on different ways that you can reduce that opportunity or chance. One of the first things that you should do is change your default username and password. Most security cameras have a default password of like admin or password or something very simple. One of the first things that you should do is definitely change that and make that something difficult. Change it to basically anything other than admin, and that should be a pretty good step for you. The second thing that you can do is change the default username and password for your router. Now, this is a very common thing to do, is to, once you've gone through the process of setting up your router, you don't take that final step of changing your username and password. In fact, many routers share the same username and password, which is like admin or password or some combination. And they do that so that users, when they're first setting it up, they don't have additional trouble. You know, it's a time-saving method. It's much easier just to configure all of the routers to admin than to give each router its own username and password. And you have to remember these routers usually are sold all across the world, so it could get pretty difficult to create username and passwords that are unique for each one. So after you configure your router, or even if you're thinking about it now, go back in and change the username and password for your router. It should be really easy to do. If you're not sure, look at your router to find the brand name, and then go look on the internet on how to change your router username and password. But you want to make sure that you do that, because most routers have the same username and password. Another thing that's recommended is to change your password or rotate your passwords regularly. It really depends on how secure or security conscious you are as to how often you should rotate them. You probably want to rotate your passwords at least quarterly, so that way if things change, you know that you can change it with the new quarter or the new season. That's usually the easiest way to go, is to make it coincide with something else. For example, they tell you to check your smoke detectors when you roll back your clock or you jump forward. That's usually a good rule of thumb. The next thing that you can do is you can make your password difficult to crack. Usually, the longer the password, the better. You should use a combination of letters, numbers, and syllables, or symbols, not syllables. You should make sure your password is at least 8 characters long. And as I mentioned, use a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. The next thing that you should do to reduce the chances for your security camera to be hacked is limit the number of people that have access to your Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, people kind of get loose with the password, especially with other people's stuff, and your password can wind up on the internet somewhere and into the hands of someone that wants to do harm. So make sure that in order to help reduce the chances of your security camera or your home network from being hacked, make sure that you are changing, or you at least limit the number of people. Another option that you have is to give people access to your guest network. A lot of newer routers have a primary network for your internet connection. And then they have a guest network. If you give visitors or guests access to your guest network, it should keep your primary network relatively safe or safer. And so the final thing that you want to do to limit the chances of your security camera or even your home network from being hacked is you make sure you don't use common passwords. Now, there are tons of websites that are out there that have a list of the most common passwords. I also think I see that list come up at the beginning of each year. Passwords like password or 1234 or 1111. Those are all examples of very easy passwords that can be hacked or guessed in some instances. And then next thing you know, your network and your security camera is compromised. One thing that you can do to help cover yourself, to make it a little bit more difficult for people to hack your security camera and even your home network, is you can use a site that manages all of your passwords. Here I have LastPass is a chance as a website that you could use, but there are tons of websites that are out there like LastPass where they give you a secure password for a website. It manages it, it stores it in their database, but then you just use one password to log into LastPass, and then they kind of do the rest. But then there's even risk in that. So what if LastPass itself gets hacked, and then the hackers have access to all of your all of your username and password? So even with a site like LastPass, you have to be kind of careful to make sure that you're not giving all of the information, because again, all of your information will be in one spot, which would be easier to hack or do harmful things. So that's a brief, short, quick blog post about your security camera and it being hacked. There are a number of other ways that you can help mitigate the risk or reduce the risk. But just know that your security camera can be hacked, and you can take basic steps to reduce those chances. Once again, this was Alston with the securitycameraguy.com. Head on over to that website, thesecuritycameraguy.com, as I add content to the site constantly. Also, like and subscribe to this channel so that you can receive updated YouTube videos or frequent YouTube videos. My goal for this year is to do at least 2 YouTube videos a week, so that there is a ton of content. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that you get access to all of these YouTube videos that I have. And then head on over to the securitycameraguy.com for a number of blog posts. In addition, I have recommended products that I like, products that I've used, products that I've tested. So head on over to the recommended products page as well to have a look at what I recommend for both wired and wireless cameras. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.